Alright, hi everyone. So we're back in the dome again. Today we're going to take a look at how it's possible to share a USB sky quality meter, the Unihedron one that I installed in a previous video, between two operating rigs simultaneously. So at the moment the sky quality meter, it just comes in from outside on the USB cable, and that USB cable is plugged into the USB hub that I've got on my RASA mount inside the dome, and we'll take a look at how it's possible to share that between my two rigs, which can operate simultaneously. And that information provided is the temperature and the sky quality, which is also embedded that data into the subframes, so you can see exactly what the conditions were. And I also use that as an indication of when to start the imaging sessions for myself. I'm living in a Bortle 5 region, and I typically get readings between 19.8 and 20.1 on the SQM reading. So anywhere around there I'll start the imaging sessions. And if I leave it running through the night, I can also check the SQM readings on any of the subframes. So if there has been cloud or whatever that's come through and changed the conditions, I can see what's going on in the subframes. So let's hop over to the laptop and we'll see how we can expand a USB connection across two running rigs. Alright, so here we are, we're on Ogo Laptop 1, which is the laptop I use for the rig that's inside the dome. And as you can see, if I open up the SQM reader, and we've got connected to COM6, which is the serial port or the USB port that is connected to the SQM meter outside, and take a reading. You can see we come back with the sky quality 0, obviously it's during the day, and the temperature at the sensor is 24.1 degrees C, so we know it's working fine there. On Astrophotography tool, if I open that up, you can also, it has a native driver for connecting direct to the SQM meter. So if we go up to Tools and APT settings and have a look at 2 degrees in sky, as you can see here, I've got enable sky tracking, quality tracking, and it's set for USB on COM port 6. So if I click OK, we should see in here it's to come through with a reading 0 and 24.1, so the temperature's dropped just fractionally at the sensor, so we know everything's working there. So the next thing we need to do is to set up this machine as a server to provide that data for the other rig. So let me come out of Astrophotography tool, and we need to go and download this SerialToIP driver. Well, it's not even a driver, it's just a small application. So it's just a zip file. You download that and extract it to wherever you want to keep it on your machine, and then we can open it up, SerialToIP GUI, and we can select the COM port for the SQM meter, which is it's COM6 on this machine, and I'm going to set the COM port to 10,001, which is the default that's used for the APT. But you can set that to any number, whatever's free on your machine. So once we've got that connected, once we've got that set, you can just click Start, and it'll start reading in or serving the data as the requests come through. So we can leave this running out of the way. The second thing we're going to need, if we go to the Unihedron website, you can see down at the bottom here is the ASCOM driver. So this was written by Dizzy Astronomy, and it is a ASCOM driver for the SQM meter, and supports both the USB and Ethernet models of the SQM meter. So you just download that and you install the ASCOM driver the same as you would any other driver, and this then gives you a couple of other options in the system. So we know we've set the serial port to COM6 for the device, and the server port to 10,001. So now if we open up APT, again we can use the native driver for this in APT. Again, we can go to Tools, APT Settings, T-Sky, and this time we would change it to LE model, which is the Ethernet model, and I'll just use the local host address because it's on this machine, and set the port number to 10,001, and we should see the sky quality meter come through when it does its refresh interval. So while that's doing that, if we hop across to Nina, so this is obviously another benefit of doing this, is you can run it across multiple sources. So if we open up Nina, now that we've got the ASCOM driver installed, we can go over to the equipment and weather, and we can select serial SQM observing conditions. Now this is the ASCOM driver that's specifically for the SQM meter. However, you could also choose the ASCOM observing conditions hub, which would then point to the serial SQM conditions if you were trying to use multiple different sources. So for example, if we select the conditions hub and set the settings in the pop-up, you can see we can choose where each of the different data points is collected from. So we take the temperature, for example, we know it provides, we can use the serial SQM conditions monitor. But I'm just going to do it directly to the SQM ASCOM driver. So if I select serial SQM observer conditions and click settings, here again we can choose SQM LE, which is for the Ethernet model. Again, we use the local host address and the 10,001, and hit OK. And we will see when we connect that we get the temperature coming through and the 0 degrees for the SQM. So that's Nina connected, and there we go, APT is updated as well. So that's two pieces of software, both talking to the one COM port on this machine. And the IP serial to IP software is obviously polling that information as those requests come from those two from those two pieces of software. So the next thing we need to do is to set up the second laptop, which is on the outside rig. Now you'll see this has just dropped out here. This is my Wi-Fi connection just dropping in and out. I still haven't resolved that properly, but it will recover itself, no problem. Okay, so let's drop across to the second laptop. Alright, so here we are on OBO Laptop 2, which is for the second rig. Now on this machine we don't need to download the serial to IP software, we only need to download the ASCOM SQM driver, in exactly the same way as we did on laptop number 1. And once you've got that downloaded on this machine, because there's obviously the server's running on the other port, on the other laptop, we can't use the local host address, so we need to use the address of the other laptop. So if we go into Astrophotography tool, on this machine, again, it uses the native driver, it doesn't use the ASCOM driver. So once it loads up, we can do exactly the same thing as we did on the other laptop. We go into APT settings, 2 degrees in sky, and we can set SQM LE and then enter the IP address of the laptop or the other laptop, and then port to 10,001, the same as we did on the other machine. And now when we do OK, we'll get the sky quality readings coming through at 0 and 23.8 degrees, so it's slightly dropped again since the last reading. And then on Nina, it's exactly the same as we did on the other machine. Again, we don't use the local host address, we use the other machine's IP address, so equipment, weather, SQM, observing conditions, LE model, set the IP address for the serving laptop, 10,001, and hit OK and connect. And we should get through, there we go, 23.8 and 0 degrees coming in. So that's APT and Nina on two laptops, all talking to the one USB device. So that's how we can share a single USB for a single piece of equipment. And that's it. That's really all I've got to share with you today. I'll put the links to the various sources on the
my description for the video, and I'll also put a link to the previous video where I actually installed the SQM meter. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Hopefully the next one will be imaging. The skies have eventually cleared, so hoping tonight, if there's clouds that are just starting to break away now, stay away. I'll hopefully get something done tonight. Alright, we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.